courtesy of the red, white, and blue.
It's time for Veterans Issues, the show that brings you information about veterans, military, and their family. Now here's your host, Ken Rollins.
Welcome to Veterans Issues, a great day here in Oxford, Alabama. We're coming to you live and in color, and today's guest is City Council Member Charlotte Hubbard. We're going to talk about something that's going on in Oxford, some things that's going on in Oxford, explain what you're seeing and construction-wise. Get you a pen, I'll be right back. Well, welcome back to Veterans Issues. It's still Ken Rollins, and we're talking with Council Member Charlotte Hubbard, and we're going to talk about it. We've been trying to get her on here for a while, but things have been busy for both of us, and we're going to finally end this up here today. And let me say this up front. She has made her intentions to run for re-election, but she has not done anything officially, so this is not into the season where we have to do that. This is a non-political. This is, we're going to talk about the city of Oxford today. And welcome to the show, Charlotte.
Thank you, Ken. Glad to be here.
Good to be anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
By the way, I ate down at the old restaurant downtown the other day called Hubbard off Main. You know where it's at?
I've been there a few times.
Now, that's Charlotte's restaurant. And boy, that thing has been successful, would you say?
It has been. It's been a little catalyst for downtown along with the Performing Arts Center, and brought a lot of folks in.
A lot of old musical instruments in there. It used to be Hubbard piano, and all of a sudden this has moved over and you expanded. I was in there for the first time the other day since you expanded. And I had the gumbo.
Oh,
I'll tell you about that.
You enjoyed it?
I was glad I wasn't close enough to slap anybody, because it is that good. And I told you off the air that when I go places, that's one of the things I look for is good Cajun food. I love gumbo, I love etouffee, I love the po' boys and things like that. And
our chef Tyler Grizzard came up with the idea of going to some of the Cajun Creole type things, and so you
can't go wrong with that. No.
He's very talented.
They used to have a place in Anniston. I used to drive all the time to Little Cajun. You remember that when it was up there?
Do.
And me and my daughter, we loved that place. But anyhow, welcome back to the Veterans Issues, and I want to talk about some veteran stuff first.
Okay.
To get this off of my chest. Liberty Park. People looking as they come down the interstate and see the construction underway over there.
Right. That
is to be Oxford Liberty Park.
It is.
And Liberty Park is just what it says. It's going to be honoring veterans. I say veterans. A lot of people didn't get to the status of veteran. That's your brother.
Right.
Willard Young.
Right. The park actually is going to be a park that's going to honor and memorialize all of the people in our city who were veterans who gave their lives in the line of duty. Then we also have another part of that park that's going to be a area that's going to focus on those who gave their lives who were police officers or firefighters. Mm-hmm. And then the other section of the park will be the people who were prominent citizens. So, but the main focus of the park came about because of the veterans, and we wanted to recognize them. And so Oxford has a very small park now down in Chalkalaka and Snow, and there's no place to park, so we can't do any kind of service there. And so we appreciate you worked on that.
It was old JC Park is what they called it. And the people that are watching now, well, you go into Oxford, you go this way, you go up Chalkalaka, and this way on Snow Street coming out from the school.
Right.
And that wedge, I call it a wedge there, where the old guns facing says JC Park, some flags, and then Joe Lett, before he died, he got that memorial put in there. So that's going to be moved down there, right?
It is. All of the things that are in there now, all the plaques will be moved that way, as well as the large pieces. There's a really nice memorial there. So all of that will be moved.
So what the people need to know is that those military that gave their life to serve as a country, there are some prominent veterans on plaques over there that lost their life later. That's some of the family put them. So those plaques will be, but they'll be in a different section.
Right. They'll be in a prominent citizen area.
And there's other people that are responsible for a lot of things in the city of Oxford. Their plaques are going to be over there.
Right.
Prominent. That word prominent. And then the law enforcement and firefighters, first responder type people that's
yeah,
going to be
first
able.
responders.
So you've covered that for the whole city. So you folks that's out there driving up the road or coming into the Civic Center and you see that work underway, you're going to have a beautiful part. And Bill Partridge tells me that he got the amphitheater part put in there.
He did. And
I'm
we
saying
also
he
have
did it, but it's gonna
lighted,
be in
yeah,
there.
we have lighted sections so people will be able to see it. We can have service at night. So we hope to work in conjunction with Centennial Park
yeah.
and do our services at different times.
Yeah. Well, we talked about that because the one in Anniston's been here 26 years, and everybody, you're always up there for that, but we lack on one thing, and that's having candlelight vigil at the end of the thing.
Right.
Because I'm simple. I think that if you say something outside, the people in heaven will hear you.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can't tell me they
That's the truth.
can't.
No.
So if you say, this is for you, Willard heard it, as far as I'm concerned. So that's going to be nice that y'all can do that.
Yes.
And I can be there. Maybe I could be, if I can give you enough money, put one in prominent. But I've been
I'm sure we can fit you in, Ken.
Okay, let's talk into that. Let's talk about something else too. You go on down on 78 West, you see the Oxford Police Department there, beautiful facility.
Right.
Next door, there's a lot of construction going underway. What is that?
Right. We're adding, a lot of people don't know that when the police department building was designed, the one that's there now, they cut back some on that building for budget reasons, and they've quickly outgrown it. There's so many pieces of equipment that they have that they need to store, and they've got, really they're going to have offices over there as well for some of their police officers. So we just built a new building. They had the property there, and so we've added on to give them the space that they need to keep us safe and keep their equipment well taken care of.
Well, they got a tactical unit that Oxford's got is second to none.
Absolutely.
And it's if I'm in trouble and there's if there's a hostage event or whatever, I want that department there.
Right.
Because I've seen some of the, in nationwide we're talking about militarizing police departments and I don't care if it's an M1 tank, if it takes that to save the life of officers as they go, engage with someone that's got someone holding them hostage or whatever the event might be. If you can save a life, I don't care what it's called, what it looks like, if it's camouflage or whatever otherwise. But Oxford has used these. It's not Oxford dollars. Bill has used this federal government program
Yes.
where this not obsolete, but things that they don't need anymore.
Right, and there will also can be in that building some things that the city did not have to pay for, like air conditioning for the lower. They got that from some federal program that he went through. But
Well, we got less than a minute on this subject, but I wanted to say I saw something with a hostage situation where a guy just shot up the house and everything, and it would look like they put a blanket over the window of the vehicle. The police vehicle, just like they covered up where somebody. Well, the negotiator was in behind that windshield, but the cover on the windshield looked like a regular blanket. But it's about a $30. I'm just guessing now. I think $30,000 piece of equipment that's bulletproof.
yes,
It wasn't only hiding the negotiator, but it was protecting him because he was exposed to the fire from the guy inside the house. And man, it was. To see that, and Partridge told me that was a bulletproof thing. The Lord, I may need one of them.
right. And another thing, I'll just say this.
Go ahead.
We have a mobile command unit that'll be coming in the end of July, and it's going to.
Hold that thought. We
Okay.
got to go. They're telling me in the control room we've run over, and I get fined for that. No, just kidding. We got to go to a break. Come back. We're going to talk more with Charlotte about Oxford. Welcome back to Veterans Issues, talking to Council Member Charlotte Hubbard, and we're talking about the city of Oxford, things that's going on, things that's been going on. And when we went to break, I interrupted you. You was telling about the mobile command for the the police department.
Right. The police department will have, the council has voted to purchase a mobile command unit, which will allow them to take their police department to our Choccolocco Park and to other areas. And also, we pride ourselves on going and helping neighbors. So this will allow them to be able to go to neighboring counties or cities to assist them in issues. They
Having been through and teaching some of that incident command training, they need to be somebody in charge. You can't have everybody telling everybody what to do. So when you got a command building, you got a command vehicle, whatever, the incident commander is always the person that handles the press. You know, people wanting to get the story out. There's people that from the fire department, you don't want your firefighters running into a live situation. You got other law enforcement people coming in. They may enter from the wrong way. So you have to have somebody that says, situation underway at such and such a location, approach from the east or west, and somebody's got to do that to save the lives of those that want to respond. And I can't imagine anybody that has a better, right now, they got a pretty nice instant command vehicle, but you're going to have something better than that.
Right. This one will have cameras that will be very effective in just seeing the whole park or the whole area wherever they are.
So you would be able to transfer calls if somebody called from somebody at the Oxford Police, it'd ring in over there.
And officers will be able to get their rest that they need in a situation like that as well.
We're very fortunate to have.
Absolutely.
And we got one of the best chiefs, and I think if they have, they go sheriff out in Arizona called the Sheriff of America and a couple of others, but I think we got a police chief of America. That would be Bill Partridge, and we got some great officers. And by the way, at the 4th of July, this is the 5th of July we're doing this show, but on the 4th last night, I watched some of the finest police officers I've ever seen. They had a monumental task of removing.
Worked all day in that heat.
Yeah, it's like a fire hose filling up a baby bottle.
That's right. And they got it done.
They did. And I shook one of his hand. It was so sweaty, he was just wringing away. Mr. Waits is who it was.
Yeah.
And and people were irritable and, oh, come on, man. And it's moving inches at a time, but they moved them and they smiled and they got the traffic out. And oh, man, it's so good to have Oxford Police Department out there. Now, let's talk about something before we get lost in it. It's a comprehensive plan. I came in on the middle of it the other night over at Civic Center. Y'all were talking about Oxford in the out years.
Yes, and thank you for coming to that, Ken. It's very important that we have as many citizens as we can get speaking to this plan. It is a plan about what we want our city to look like 20 to 30 years from now. So we call it Imagine Oxford. And within that is going to be a land use plan, which this plan has not been updated since 1973. So we are working with a group called KPS Group. Jason Fondren from that group is leading our work, and along with Skipper Construction, they're helping us with some of the transportation things. We got some really good ideas the other night.
Well, the one thing that people will say to Charlotte, and we've not had this discussion, but people say, oh, I want a Krispy Kreme donut place. I want the pizza place. I want this. I want a sporting goods, whatever. But what they do want that, and I'm one of them, but they don't realize what comes with the infrastructure when you do those things.
Absolutely.
A good example is the city of Montgomery. You know, they built and built and built along 231 there. But they had to put a service road in because, like Highway 78, if you're coming out into traffic straight into the 4-lane, you got to jump over there real quick and get in that turn lane to turn left or right. You know what I'm saying?
I've been there.
You've been there a few times.
Yes, and we talked the other night about some alternate routes, especially for Highway 78. One of the areas we want to develop in our city is the western side of our city in the east of Boca Bynum area. And so we're going to have some alternate transportation if we keep growing down there, because we already have some of our schools going, a lot of traffic.
People want to see what I'm talking about there on a comprehensive plan. When you build something like the Exchange, Chocolaca Park, you better build a infrastructure that will accommodate traffic in and out, or you're just going to put everything to stop.
That's right.
You would shut down the Exchange to get ball players in if you don't look ahead.
That's exactly right.
So I'm glad to see that. Now, one thing that I was very proud, and you was a driving force behind that, and I talked to your people here at the studio, Main Street, that's where this Liberty Park comes from, all that too.
Yes, it did. We were fortunate to become a Main Street city over 2 years ago now. And we have worked to build up business in the downtown area. One of the things we work on is economic development for the downtown. Rod Harris is our leader there on that. He's our Main Street director. And we also have a project going on down there that the council has funded for revitalizing the sidewalks and the streetscapes. New lighting, no more power lines.
Thank you.
Yes, there won't be a power line when you make a photo in front of the Performing Arts
Yeah.
now. So it's going to be very exciting. We're looking forward to having that area as being more of a walking type area.
Yeah. You know, every city that I go to has a Main Street program per se, either officially or unofficially, and they try to keep it viable because shopping centers, you know, malls take away from those sometimes, but then some people just want to get. I saw one store down there, I believe it was old Cotton's furniture or something. Something being just been torn apart, getting ready to do something.
Oh yes, we've got some revitalization there. Alyssa Enzor and Adam Maniscalco are bringing their law firm downtown, and so they are revitalizing 2 buildings, and we're going to have studio apartments. We'll have, I think it's 6 or 7 apartments.
Well, you know, somebody's
loft
talking.
Apartments down there.
I think it may be at the city council meeting or somewhere talking about. And they talk about it. All you city councils, people grow up and then they move away. The Maniscalcos have grown up and stayed here, and as I can throw a rock to one of those places from here right now,
absolutely,
they have made us proud in this city.
Yes, absolutely. And we're looking forward to having them. Adam is on our Main Street board.
The one thing I want to talk about before I get it run out of time, they keep telling me, counting me down in the year. Cheaha Regional Humane Society. Adoption center for the animals. It's going to be
the council is
it
committed. Well, we're looking still around town. It's either going to be at exit 185 or 188. We're not sure yet, but it is going to be not an intake facility, but it's going to be an adoption facility.
Just adoption facility.
Yes.
Well, you know, when they do that out at PetSmart, I'm so thrilled every day. The Jane Cunningham and her group, they put that out. They put people over there and they bring the animals out to PetSmart, and I look and see 6, 7, 8 adopted, and they're beautiful animals. These are not garbage dogs.
They're not.
Cats.
Yes, they'll be well vetted, and the building that she's planning on building, she has a donor that's given money. She has matching money from the bank, so the city was glad to give her the property. So we just have to decide where that's going to be.
Well, the League of Our Own is something I want to mention. That was very successful in Ginger Monroe.
Absolutely.
Bless her heart. And I know you've been down to some of the games. And I'm up in the booth. I got to tell you this. A little kid was telling his mama, says, I like the man upstairs. And, you know, when you and I talk about the man, we talk about God.
That's right.
And she said, well, that's good. And this is a conversation going along a little walkway, and it was talking about me, because I'm the man upstairs. We're going to stay over in a minute. We're going to come back. I want to talk more with Charlotte. We got to go to a break. But the man upstairs is going to take you to a break, and we'll be right back with more with Charlotte. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. Here, normally this will be news as you can use. I'm going to do some of that, but I want to close out here with Charlotte Hubbard, who's a council member of Oxford. I ran against Charlotte, and she beat the socks off of me, but she had done such a super job. Charlotte, and we were talking, I was talking about the kids calling him the man up above, but it's such a heartwarming thing to see what goes on down there with that League of Our Own.
Absolutely.
And it just grew and grew and grew, and what a great thing for Oxford to do. Give me about 30 seconds of something that I left out that I need to talk about.
Well, one of the things that is also going on in our city is we've committed to firefighters. And so the firefighters, we've got 2 new stations. We're working on a 3rd one, so that we'll have a station toward our Choccolocco Park.
Where's the 3rd one now?
It's going to be down off Leon Smith and Friendship Road.
Okay, that's amazing.
Choccolocco Park is going to, I just want to say this, people, it's not just going to be ball fields, as a lot of people have given us credit for.
The lake.
It is going to be a huge facility for learning, because there's going to be a great cultural piece out there. When people hear about this, they're going to come from all over Southeast.
Is that from the Indian culture? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, from the Native American culture, yes. And we're going to have a grand opening in October, and the Abika tribe is going to come back and be here for that. And so we're very excited about it. I got to see some of the artwork that's going to be at the different stations. Children will be taking field trips out there.
They're going to have a walking track and
Yes.
stuff like that. Well, I appreciate you being on
Thank
the
you,
show.
Ken.
Yeah, after this, all this crazy season gets over, you back. I still need you to come back and talk.
I
mean,
will.
'cause
I
this
like to be here.
A lot has changed since the last time. Anyhow, we want to talk about some things I need to remind you about the parking. Just write this down if you hadn't already got it. 2415 7th Avenue South. The Choice Program. If you're a veteran, you're under the Choice Program. If you're not under the Choice Program, you need to get under there. I had an appointment with the eye doctor in Birmingham. They called me, said, why don't you make your appointment here? Would you rather be in your hometown? I said, well, sure. And so they have made me an appointment in Anniston with a optometrist there, and rather than me have to drive all the way to Birmingham, and that's under the Choice Program. And I know some others that are doing orthopedic and things like that. So you might want to get you a choice card and look into that program. You can call the VA over there in Birmingham at 205-933-8101. When you get the operator on the phone, when it starts talking, just press O for the operator. And then when the operator comes and says, I want the choice program, they'll put you in charge of somebody. And you ask them how you get your choice card. And they got an 888 number on there you can call. And once you get that card, then you have the options that I have to do that. So keep that in mind. I want to remind you that Kia stores, the ones in Gadsden and in Anniston, sponsor the show. And Don Hobden and all the folks there are on fire selling Kias. And so keep that in mind. And let's see, we were talking about, oh yeah, I'm going to pay it forward. Man, I paid it forward this morning at Dunkin' Donut, and the guy went down a circle and he came back, and I thought he was going to fight me, come up there, and he had tears in his eyes, and he said, nobody's ever done this for me, you know. He had a 61 tag on, that's all I know, but I made his day and he made my day. So y'all try that. It's if I knew his name, I wouldn't give it to you, but it's something everybody should do. One day I did that, and 7 cars paid it forward for people. So try that, you might like it. So let's do that. The law enforcement tag, I'm not going to ask the control room to post it, but the law enforcement tag is available for anyone who wants to renew a tag or get a new tag. You don't have to be in law enforcement, but what it says about you, that you support law enforcement for those who have died in the line of duty, and it helps us build the memorials that we're going to build up in Centennial Memorial Park. So that is the Iraq and Afghanistan memorials will probably be the next ones that we start on. So you keep that in mind. And I just, when I was at Charlotte on here, I didn't talk too much about her brother, Willard Young. We're going to do that. We're going to salute this to her brother. We're going to see you next week here on Veterans Issues.